Bruce,
do you want us to use your...
photos.
Yeah.
Where are you?
No, it's amazing, you know, that it's continuing as it was, you know, as it was thought about years ago.
Yeah.
Not in the light really, but anyway.
Right?
Great. Lovely.
Alright,
Taking a few.
it's all in healthies. Thank you.
Make sure I haven't cut anything off.
Thank you. Thank you. The swale along there was the first engineered swale for Auckland. We're going through as far as we know. To take off before there used to be a lot of runoff going through. Since it's been put in, there's hardly any water flooding comes through at all.
Where is it exactly?
It's right in the back. There's a ditch on this. There's the shallow ditch. Yeah, it's vegetated. There's the olive tree, and if you want to grab an olive, which from the tree which Jim Sutton planted, as I said before, that was to mark the launch of Organic Farm New Zealand.
Okay.
So it's there. Here we've set up, there's a lot of trees from New Zealand offshore islands, so that the cow farms down that right at the end of the corner there is the common species is from Pitt Island, Chatham Islands, which is the southernmost part in the southern hemisphere where palms grow. And in there is the Kermadec Islands wild palm, which is right up 1,000 kilometres north Cape. So in the small area you've got we've got the lancewood tree, which is now coming mature after the magnolia tree there is the variety Star Wars, which is a New Zealand bred variety. The flax at the entranceway there is originally from the Four Knights Islands. So, and flax on the other there was originally from the Three Kings Islands. So there's through the forest, we've got quite a number of trees which are important for this area going through. And as you can see, the Horticulture Sanctuary Eco Nation 2020. That's where for the whole organisation, the organisation Eco Nation 2020 still exists, but it's now 2021, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was the aspiration, and just shows you what happens.
Do you have any Kermadec Karamico?
No.
How long will these bananas, do they all different? Banana palm groups, are they all different
all
species?
separate. All I know is one is Mr. Lucy, there's one I'm not too sure of the other, because whatever they are, general space here, there's all sorts of, all around here. So that's the Fijo, which tree which Jeanette Fitzsimmons put in. It's now starting to be overtopped by the Celine peach tree. Now you'll see around here a lot of the fruit trees and that are just not pruned down like commercial. It's an open space and things disappear. But yep, so those that are low down usually disappear first, and it's harder to get the ones up above. That's why we've got orchards ladders to be able to gather some of our stuff. Trees, the Caprosma was one of the original Caprosmas here. Behind it there's a Bodhi tree, the Ficus religiosus, and those from Buddhists. So this from the religious religiosus is important for that. So this space was set up for everyone to go through. Here we've got the so-called rainbow garden or urunuku. This is the idea that since everything is done by hand, so curved beds, sort of rainbow effect, with different shades of green, different heights, and colour. The marigolds are a result of the growing them for, say, the fencing around was for the rabbits, and so we had to go double height as the rabbits came for the park. But in fact, in terms of protection for the park, for growing things like carrots, the carrot rust fly, it only flies to about 40 centimetres off the ground. So that's one way of actually stopping them.
Does it keep the rabbits out okay?
Reasonably well, yeah.
But the rabbits probably get up.
Oh, they put there's now control. 3 years ago, there've been almost no fences around here whatsoever. There's a dozen to 15 rabbits just around here. Yeah. We do actually put traps out for rats and mice, because that's the other part. There's more mice and rats at the moment. If we just go down here, we can go to the mana of this area was being broken. People going in there who shouldn't be going in there. People who are prepared to take stuff without doing any work going through. So to protect the mana of the area, we've had to go to extreme measures this year. But the garden, Māori Kumara, is set out in the traditional form for Māori gardening. In the front, the northern side, there's no entrance way, so when the sun is shining, you're not taking away from the plants. There's 3 gifting mounds who you give to the first crop for the things, for the part. Not last year, year before, we gave it to the RSA because so happened it was harvest on Anzac Day. The entrance way is on the southern edge, and it's on the eastern side because most wind is from the west. That's to reduce any plant disease things going in. So there's a whole lot of things in cultivation going through. For nowadays, we've had to Maori were very good gardeners, very adaptable, and probably Auckland as a settlement would have not survived without the Maori providing the food to keep us going in the area. Here we got all these, the puku mounds are still there. We hope for harvest very soon.
What's the little round
Okay.
stone thing here?
Okay, this was set up in the South Island. You set up stones, and you then, when you want to store kumara, there's the heat going through, and the part you put it in there. But also, in the South Island for the part, because you're dealing with a semi-tropical crop, is the stones were to lift the cold air flowing down over the kumara ground. Yeah. Behind us is the composting. We do hot composting, and we do the greens, the browns, the leaves coming through. Last done, it takes a few months, and we get really good, want to see really good compost at the end. So from around here, we put most things that we can compost easily in there. That gets up to 60, 65 degrees, which is the ideal temperature to break down any disease organisms and going through. You get some leaves. We've actually had seagrass, which has been brought over from Auckland Council, was brought over from Mission Bay area. We haven't had any for a while. Almond trees are the 2 trees at the back there, and they're the best staying off in the spring. You know, spring's here when avocado there is a avocado, which Richard Main said is actually grown from a seed. It's unusual. You usually get it. This year it's actually got some avocados on a reasonable number. Yeah, for the part. For previous years, there's usually been a lot of flowers, so it's been great for pollinators or food source, but not so good for the crop. Maybe we'll get something off it this year in a big way. The big trees that got finished, that's the brown turkey. big tree. The persimmon tree is what we planted here 3 years ago near the end of April to celebrate the saving of the sanctuary as an entity. With the interim head of the park, and we've got that as a video on our Facebook webpage to be able to be talked about the saving of it. Just down here we'll start with the food forest. You'll remember that here 20 years ago all this was just kikuyu. Your white sapote or the casimara is there. It grows fast here, and one of the problems is because it grows so fast it splits, and we have more problems with casimara tree to what this nice butt going through. Yeah, the wind going through. There was a big storm about 3-4 years ago which came from the east direction and that knocked that one. And then there's a westerly that came knocked another one down. There's a tablecloth tree there with the leaves there. The tablecloth was one of the trees which was brought in by early Māori, but it didn't survive. Unfortunately, it's recognised as a vigorous male because it is invasive. It's going through where you cut it and it comes shooting up from all the roots going through. It's one of those things. So what was happening is 1 or 2 parts right at the top there is now being tablecloth tree. Okay.
Which one is it, sorry? Is it this
It's
one?
the one with the leaves.
Big lobes.
Yeah, the big lobe leaves. Yeah. And underneath is the called kawakawa.
Without holes.
Yeah. A plum. No holes in the leaves except here.
Yeah, it's
Looks like we're
amazing
getting the
that
start
there's not.
of things. The tree day there will come into flower very soon. It's one of those plants that only flowers as the daylight length shortens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've got one at home.
Lemon borer.
Yeah. That's what we call the lemon tree borer. Imona hurta. Part was said to be was thought to be the brightest, the sunniest, warmest place. So they tried a few of the trees, such as the inga bean tree, the ice cream tree, which has the bean pods there, which the white flesh has reminiscent the taste of vanilla ice cream. The beans can be roasted, which is fine. Oh, they're still there. Pomegranates.
Pomegranates.
Time. Well, in fact, there's enough heat to get them going all the way through. I'm not too sure. Things like that disappear. The Chinese toon tree here, that has the pink leaves and the
Oh, yes.
parts. Yeah, the tips there got savoury onion taste. You can use them in stir fries, and that's really part. Behind there's a little tree going up, Davidsonia, the so-called Queensland plum, which has small purplish round fruit, which fruits on the trunk. Hang on the trunk. Yes, we've got really.
What are those yellow guys?
And the yellow guys are the mandarin, Richard's special mandarins, which was a New Zealand bred mandarin, first attempt to try to get an easy peel mandarin. It's got a slight taste of a grapefruit. It's a really nice. Yeah. This is key lime rather than Tahitian. It's actually growing. When this food forest was set up, it was set up as an example of trying things out. It's not set up as an orchard going through which you had guaranteed things. There was various plum trees and other things. Yeah, they work going through conventional, but they tried various things. Some worked. I think it's part of the novelty. As a food forest, it also includes non-food trees for us, including some of the Andean walnut tree, which was good for its timber for repart, but it was also they had coloniser trees. They had populus in there, which were going to be coppiced,
And they don't
which they didn't. they just grew too big. There's Takastaki, which is just the tree looser, still go nice into the soil. Going through is everyone wants to grow pomegranates, and they are a difficult crop. Auckland is not really yet warm enough. We have to rely on the climate change to get going. So where we're going.
Dark.
In the shade.
Yeah. What causes the
First black.
the